One of the biggest things that's happening in the process of the virus is the illusion that comes from our president, him saying one thing and then doing another, and he's not alone in this. All the countries that have the highest rate of epidemic, the highest rate of the head of the country going, no problem, we're Mexican, we don't get it, we don't get this virus, it's not ours. That's what they said in Mexico. Don't worry about it, go to work, don't worry about it, it's just everybody's going to get it and then it'll go away, don't worry about it. Just like Trump, it's like the flu and we're going to get it and it's just going to go away, don't worry about it. Nothing stops, keep everything churning along. That's what they did in Mexico. Now they're the highest death, the highest number of people, and that really puts us in a really bad place, because this is the border that doesn't have a wall. This is the border to where we have a joker who says, I'm going to close the borders and we're not going to let anybody in. Well, it's not true. He didn't close the borders. He said he closed the borders to China, but he didn't close the borders to China. Thousands of people went flying in from China to America after he said he closed the borders. All you need to do is be interested is the truth. If you look up the truth, just type it in. Thousands of people crossed over the border from China after Trump closed the border. And you'll find article after article after article and proof that that never happened. Yeah. And then not long ago he says, I'm going to close the border to Mexico because, boy, that's got to be a very dangerous situation. All these people in Mexico coming over with the virus and everything. He never did that. Yeah. So here's what's going on in Mexico. And this is a very dangerous situation because they have the highest number of people who are dying from the virus, the very highest. And they're on our border. Yeah. And they're in San Diego. And they're walking across the border without check or stopping. Whew. By the thousands every day. By the thousands. Just wonderful. And that's because, according to Trump, we need to make sure our economy is flowing. So in reality, we can't have all of our, gardeners and our people who do the growing and, the cutting and the planting, and that's big economy. Yeah, we can't be shutting that down. So it's not a thing about, them thinking about whether or not they're doing the right thing for people.
Will happen to us.
And while the death toll continues to rise in Mexico City, there's little talk of a flattening curve. Its mayor announcing that businesses will begin to reopen June the 1st.
Anyway, sooner or later, we are all going to get infected by coronavirus. We all have to return to normal.
Doctors here also say they're not just fighting the virus, but widespread skepticism. Dr. Juan Jose is a community doctor. Patients come here, he says, and I tell them it's probably COVID. They say no, the national government made that up.
Now that's what Eric Trump is telling people. That the side of the opposites, or whatever you call these people, that they themselves are making it up and causing the numbers to be in such a way that people do not go to voting or they don't go to group, activities. Yeah. And it's all part of a process of just in the process of Trump, you can imagine that the influence is not just greed, but the influence is his nature, and his very nature is to be hypocritical and lie, so if we have Mexico on the border and we have a terrible situation coming in, and they have more deaths, they're not burying anybody anymore. Yeah, they are cremating by the thousands every day, and they have absolutely no space for burying. Yeah. So the largest crematorium you could ever imagine is running 24/7. Yeah. Every day. Yeah. And then all the people from Mexico, Tijuana, the one place they want to go is America. Yeah. And they really want to get across there. And 9/10 of them have the virus. Yeah. Because no one's checking. Everybody's sick in Mexico. And thousands of them are crossing the border. I'll show you this. And this is being allowed by our president under the same consciousness of the people in Mexico, and where the president is putting out the impression as though this is a political thing to smear his candidacy, to make it harder for him to become president. And that's what they're believing over in Mexico. This is a political thing. The virus doesn't really exist. We don't need to wear masks. It's not real. Yeah? Yeah. So those statements by mayors and by heads of Mexico are having a major effect on the masses of people in Mexico. And that same thing is happening to us here. Our heads, our one head, is making certain statements that get into the minds of people that are hearing what he's saying, and it becomes law, becomes real. Yeah, like a lot of people wanted to put Lysol in their veins. They're questioning whether or not that's the thing they should do. What would even make a person? He said, I just don't believe that happened. He didn't believe anybody would be that stupid to do such a thing. Yeah, yeah, and that's where we have a problem. Is that all of this is going on by government officials making stupid statements in order to protect themselves. Yeah? The head of Mexico was making those statements in order to protect themselves, not the country, but themselves.